Hi everyone. In previous video, we have discussed about the location of vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloem, in dicot plants, okay, in the leaf, root and stem of dicot plants, and that's very important as per exam point of view. In this video, we are going to discuss about the function and adaptations of a very important cells of plant, and that is root hair cell, okay. So let's begin with this. This particular topic is actually from segment 8.2 water uptake of IGCSE syllabus. Okay, and the paper code is 0610. Now we all know that plants, they have very important organ called root, okay, and they also have shoot. So now as we have all studied in the lower grades, plants, they have root system as well as shoot system, okay. Root system is present under the soil, isn't it? Now we all know the functions of root. First very important function of root is it actually anchors the plant in soil, okay. It anchors the plant in soil and provides support to the plant. And second very important function is root actually helps in absorbing water and minerals for the plant, okay. It absorbs water and minerals dissolved in water from the soil and provides it to the plant. Now how root is able to perform this function? Now when we talk about the external structure of the root, as you can see here in the picture, this root is having minute hair-like structure, okay. Now remember, all these root hairs are microscopic, okay. So we can see this minute hair-like structure, okay. Now all these root hair are microscopic. So these minute hair-like structure are known as root hair, and root hair is very important part of the root, okay, because this root hair only helps in the absorption of water and minerals from the plant, from the soil for the plant, okay. And the tip of the root is actually covered with a special or you can say a special structure which is called root cap, okay. Now this root cap is essential because when this root is growing, or when this root is growing and increasing in the length and size, okay, so at that time this root actually has to pass through the soil. It has to move through the soil, okay. Then what happens is this root cap actually prevents the tip of the root, okay. The root cap actually prevents the tip of the root, okay, because just at the tip of the root there are very important cells which are called meristematic cells, okay. Apical meristem is present, and this meristematic cells are very important because they actually help in the growth, okay, in the growth of the root, okay, in increasing the length and the size of the root, okay. So the function of root cap is to protect the growing tip of the root when it moves through the soil. And apart from this, this root cap also enables the downward growth of root, okay, and helps in easy movement of root through the soil. Now let's understand the structure of this root in detail. We all know that in animals as well as in plants, there is actually a layer of cell which covers the external part of the animals and plants, okay. So in case of animals, this layer of cell, okay, this layer of cell present on the external surface is known as epithelium, okay, epithelial layer of cells. As so many cells are there, so that is called tissue, okay. Similarly, the layer of cells present at the external surface of the plant, okay, it can be root, it can be stem, it can be leaf, flower, fruit, anything, okay. So the layer of cells or the tissue present at the external surface or external surface or surface of different organs of the plant is known as epidermis, okay. So in case of plants, the layer is known as epidermis, okay. So epidermis tissue, okay. Now similarly, all the roots, they are also covered with epidermal tissue, okay. The external surface of all the roots is also covered with epidermal tissue, okay. Now what happens is this entire epidermal layer is present, okay, is made up of cells. Now out of this all the layers of cells, okay, only few cells have a very thin thread-like or finger-like extension. Okay, not all the epidermal cells, only some epidermal cells actually have a long and thin hair-like extensions growing out of them. Okay, and this long and thin hair-like structure, hair-like extensions growing out of these epidermal cells are known as root hair. Okay, so this one is actually root hair. Okay, and remember, all epidermal cells do not produce root hair cells. Now you can see in the picture, this particular epidermal cell is actually having the thin hair-like extension. Okay, it's actually having the growth of thin hair-like extension. Okay, and all these epidermal cells are like any other cell present in the plant. There is only one difference, that all the cells present in the leaf or in the shoot, they have chloroplast, but the cells present inside the root, under the soil in root, has no chloroplast. Okay. Now this is epidermal cell. This outermost layer is known as cell wall. Then we have cytoplasm. Okay, vacuole, and this is the inner layer after cell wall is cell membrane. Okay, and it has nucleus. So this is fully grown root hair. Okay, and then this one is like, newly growing root hair cells. You can see here in the right side, this is actually the transverse section of root, and you can see some of the root hair cells. Okay, and this picture was taken under electron microscope. Okay, so these are actually the growing root hair cells. Okay, these are the root hair cells. This is also the microscopic picture of root hair cell. Here you can see these tiny and very thin and very small hair-like extensions are root hair cell. Okay, and this picture shows root hair cells present. This picture actually shows root hairs of cells present in the new radicle after the germination of seed. Okay, because in them so many root hairs are present, because here the function of root hair cell is very important, because here this radicle is just like, it's newly formed and it's growing. Okay, and the plant is in actually growing stage. Okay, so this plant requires more amount of water and minerals compared to the already grown plant. Okay, so that's why so many prominent root hairs are present. Now the function of root hairs is, we already know, it absorbs water and minerals from the soil. One very important point to be noted here is, as per exam point of view, root hair cells, they absorb water by the process of osmosis, and they absorb minerals by the process of active transport. We know that osmosis is a type of passive transport. Okay, that means no ATP molecules. Energy is not utilized in the form of ATP molecules. In osmosis, water moves from higher potential to lower potential region. Okay, in osmosis, water always moves from the region of higher potential to the region of lower potential through semi-permeable membrane. Okay, and here only the kinetic energy of these water molecules is used. Okay, no ATP molecules are used, isn't it? And these minerals are actually absorbed by the process of active transport. And we know it is called active transport because in this process, energy stored in the cells in the form of ATP molecule is utilized. Okay, and in active transport, any substance always moves against the concentration gradient, that is from low concentration to the higher concentration. What happens is, this plant is continuously absorbing water. Okay, it absorbs water continuously. Now what happens is, when it absorbs water, in water whatever mineral ions are absorbed, okay, they also move inside the plant, and hence in the root hair cells, many mineral ions are already present. Okay, that's why the concentration of mineral ions are higher in these root hair cells compared to the concentration of mineral ions present in the water around the root. Okay, hence remember this point, very important, that water is absorbed by root hair cells by osmosis, and mineral ions are absorbed by the process of active transport against the concentration gradient. Now what are the adaptations of these root hair cells? First adaptation is there is a presence of long and thin extensions. Okay, there is a presence of long and thin extensions. Now this long and thin extension actually increases the surface area of the root hair cell for the absorption of water and minerals. Okay, for example, you have one cell like this. Okay, and there is a second epidermal cell which has long and thin root hair, root hair. Okay, now this particular cell at one particular time will absorb only maybe only these many mineral ions, okay, or water. But here you can see the cell which is present with the root hair. Okay, this cell has maximum chance of, like, it has maximum surface or maximum chance of absorbing water and minerals from the soil. Okay, so first very important adaptation is these root hair cells, they have long and thin hair-like extensions, and these extensions increases the surface area to volume ratio. Okay, and hence increases the rate of absorption of water and minerals. Second adaptation is water moves from higher potential, that is soil, to the lower potential inside cytoplasm through partially permeable membrane. Okay, and the third one is these root hair cells, they have very thin cell wall. Okay, very thin cell wall actually helps in quicker and you can say faster absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Okay, so only this much in this video. Take care and bye bye.